Where are you? Pick up. The wedding starts in 6 hours.
I need space, Hannah.
Space? What do you mean? We're supposed to get married today. Maybe some truths are better heard from someone else first. What?
6 hours before Hannah's wedding, our fiancé locked himself inside his car, not answering anyone's call. The compound was already dressed for celebration. White chairs were lined up neatly on the grass yard. Flowers were tied neatly to the poles. The caterers had arrived early. Music equipment sat covered under plastic. Inside the house, phone kept ringing. Hannah stood in her dressing room, frozen, still in her night clothes. She had called Mark 12 times. 12 good times. He hasn't answered once. Downstairs, voice whispered. Someone cried softly near the kitchen. And on the living room sofa, Emily, her cousin, sat scrolling through her phone, calm as if the day hasn't been cracked open. She didn't look surprised. By the time Hannah understood what had happened, it was already too late to undo. Hannah had already survived one life she didn't talk about. That's why this wedding mattered. It wasn't some reckless love story. It was proof that the chaos she'd survived would no longer touch her future. Mark wasn't exciting. He was steady. Asked questions, waited for answer, made plans, followed through. He didn't disappear. He didn't panic. With him, things felt safe. Her family liked that. She did too. This marriage wasn't built on firework. It was built on control. And Hannah needed control. One part of her life had once stormed out of control. She had folded that chapter away not out of pride, but because opening it meant risking everything. Not now. Not 6 hours before forever. Emily had been part of the wedding from the beginning. She lived with Anna, helped with plans, managed calls, picked up documents. Everyone trusted her without hesitation. She's the organized one. Anna's mother said more than once. Emily smiled easily. She listened closely. She remembered everything. Sometimes too much. And too much of everything is bad. One evening, while Hannah was sorting invitation envelope, Emily paused behind her and asked casually, "Does Mark believe people should tell everything before marriage?" Hannah laughed it off. "What kind of question is that?" Emily shrugged, just wondering. She smiled again and went back to helping. Her eyes lingered just a second too long. There was one thing in Hannah's past no one talked about. A child. Years ago, a closed adoption. No contact since. The decision hasn't been easy. It hasn't been reckless. It has been survival. Mark didn't know. Not because Anna wanted to lie, but because timing mattered. She planned to tell him, just not like this. Not with the wedding breathing down her neck. Only one person knew. Emily. Emily reacted perfectly. No shock, no judgment, no sharp intake of breath. She listened quietly, wrapped Anna in a hug, let her cry into her shoulder. "I've got you," Emily said. "And this stay here." It was said gently, convincingly, trust sealed. After that night, Emily changed, but it wasn't obvious at first. She stayed nearby during phone calls. She asked when Mark would arrive. She offered to handle more errands. One afternoon, Hannah walked into the living room and stopped. Emily was holding Hannah's phone. Oh, sorry, Emily said quickly. It's light up. I thought it was mine. She handed it back, smiling. Hannah accepted the explanation. As the wedding approached, the house grew louder. Relatives arrived. Buses stacked up. Schedules overlapped. Emily became indispensable. She picked up documents. She spoke to vendors. She volunteered to handle a few last things the night before the wedding. Hannah was exhausted. She was distracted and grateful. She went to bed early. That was all Emily needed. There was a call Hannah didn't know about. A conversation she never had. And guess what, my people? The conversation changed everything. A story told carefully, calmly, with just enough proof to sound credible. Emily didn't dramatize. She didn't exaggerate. She framed it as concern. The next morning, Mark arrived earlier than planned. His greeting was different. He hugged Anna, but briefly. His smile didn't reach his eyes. When relatives hurried around them, Mark stepped aside, checking his phone again and again. Emily watched from across the room. Anna felt the shift before she understood it. By mid-morning, Mark stopped meeting her eyes. When Hannah asked if something was wrong, he said, "We will talk later." Later came too fast. They stood behind the house, near the stacked decoration boxes. The music from inside drifted faintly through the walls, cheerful, on her way. Mark wasn't looking at her. He was staring at the ground like he was trying to measure something invisible. "Mark," Anna said softly, "you are scaring me." He inhaled through his nose, slow and controlled. Then he finally looked at her, and that's when she felt it. Distance. "Why?" he said carefully. "Did I find out about your child from someone else?" The word child didn't even sound real in his mouth. Anna felt the ground shifted beneath her. There was only one person who knew, and in that moment, she understood that the wedding wasn't the only one about to collapse.